My eye-opening moment in a cult. You know those moments when you suddenly realize something is really wrong. Well, I had that exact experience when I found myself deeply involved with a group that seemed harmless at first. So, the question is, what was my oh shit, I'm in a cult moment? It all started about 2 years ago when I moved to a new city for a fresh start. I was feeling lonely, and one day I stumbled upon a flyer for a community wellness group. They promised meditation sessions, yoga classes, and honestly, a tight-knit family vibe. It felt perfect, so I decided to check it out. The first few meetings were delightful. I met a group of incredibly warm people, and we bonded over our shared interest in meditation. The leader, who went by the name Harmony, was charismatic and seemed to have an answer for everything. She preached about living a life free from negativity and encouraged us to let go of our past. I was hooked. It felt like I had found my tribe. But as time went on, things began to shift. Harmony started to introduce more intense practices that involved some odd rituals. For example, she encouraged us to write down all our fears and burn them in a ritualistic ceremony. I thought it was a unique way to release negativity, but then the requests became more demanding. We were asked to attend more meetings, contribute financially to the group, and even cut ties with friends who didn't understand our journey. That was the first red flag, but I ignored it. I convinced myself it was just part of the transformation. However, the real turning point came during a weekend retreat in the woods. We were gathered around a campfire, and Harmony started sharing her so-called visions. She claimed she had been chosen to lead us to a higher consciousness. As she spoke, I noticed some members were nodding vigorously, almost in a trance. I felt a chill run down my spine. The next day, as we were hiking, Harmony led us deeper into the forest than we'd ever been. When we finally stopped, she told us to stand in a circle and close our eyes. She started chanting, and I felt an overwhelming sense of discomfort. I peered around, and some people were crying, almost worshiping her words. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just a group, it felt like a cult. I remember thinking, what have I gotten myself into? It was surreal. I felt trapped, but didn't know how to extricate myself from this situation. I managed to excuse myself and went for a solitary walk. The forest, which had felt serene before, now felt oppressive. I could hear faint echoes of the chant behind me, and I was filled with dread. After that day, I knew I had to leave. I started distancing myself from the group, which was hard because they had become my friends. I finally made the break when I realized that my mental health was suffering, and I was losing touch with reality. It took courage, but I felt the weight lift when I left. I found a therapist who helped me process that experience, and I slowly rebuilt my life. Looking back, I learned to trust my instincts. Not everything that glitters is gold, and sometimes the path to self-discovery can lead you somewhere dark. I'm grateful to have gotten out in time. What about you? Have you ever felt trapped in a situation that made you question everything? Tell me your story in the comments below.